Hello. I thought we could go back in time, so to speak, and do a throwback for St. Patrick's Day to March 2008. This Bon Appetit Magazine is 14 years old, but obviously a lot of the recipes are still relevant for this time of year. We have a grilled corned beef and fontina on rye here, Southern style Easter, homemade cinnamon rolls, brine your own corned beef, and no fail party recipes. So a lot has changed in 14 years. A lot of the ads will be for things that are obviously no longer around. This is a MasterCard ad. And then we have an ad for a Lincoln. What is this? An MKX, and it says starting at $35,000 something dollars. So that's one thing that's changed. I'm sure it costs a lot more to get a Lincoln car like that in these times. What is this? This is some kind of a cruise that they offered through this magazine, a supper club cruise. Ooh, look at this. A vanilla custard sauce, and you can see the little specks of vanilla beans. Banana Republic ad. Nice bag. That would still look very fashionable now, I think. 14 years later, comes the trunk. And we have quesadillas with greens and goat cheese. And this is a big ad from DisneyParks.com. I don't even know if that is something that they do anymore. And it's got celebrities in it. And it's got very thick pages. And these different entertainment personalities are starring in roles. Here we have Whoopi Goldberg as the Genie from Aladdin, where your every wish is our command. And here we have J-Lo and Mark Anthony as Jasmine and Aladdin, where a whole new world awaits. Things have changed with J-Lo. Somebody else is by her side now. And look at beautiful Jessica Biel. And she is Pocahontas, where dreams run free. Look at this beautiful fall scene and a little deer chasing her. Or maybe they're just running together. I don't know. And this one's so beautiful. Here we have Giselle Bundchen, Tina as Wendy, Tina Fey as Tinkerbell, and Mikhail Baryshnikov as Peter Pan. Look at that beautiful night scene, London in the background, where you never have to grow up. There's the table of contents. More Olay Definity. I don't know if they make that anymore. Here are all the people that went to making this magazine. Triscuit ad. Letter from the editor. And here's a Travelocity ad with a little gnome. I don't know if that's still around either. And here are things from bonappetit.com, all of the different things that they featured that month. Melita coffee filters, those are still around. And these are recipes that people write in and ask for a copycat recipe for different restaurants that they frequent. And they have a portobello mushroom sandwich with roasted garlic and basil mayonnaise. Slippery shrimp. It says, when the chef was developing this recipe, the slick cornstarch coating caused the shrimp to slide off the plate, hence the name. Isn't that interesting? And then we have roast chicken with Romesco sauce. What is Romesco sauce? Romesco is a classic tomato and bell pepper sauce from Catalonia, where it is often served with grilled fish or poultry. I wonder if a lot of these restaurants that they are talking about are even still in business. There's a crock pot. I wonder. Acura car. And here we have Great Expectations. Look at that cheese. We love Parmigiano Reggiano, but there's a whole world of aged hard cheese to explore from England, the United States, Holland, and of course Italy. Sublime in a sandwich, grated over pasta, or tucked into an omelet or quiche, any of these would be a perfect addition to a cheese plate. Crisp white wines, lush reds, and especially bubbles get along beautifully with all of these tasty, complex cheeses. Here they have a whole page of cheese. What are they? Number 1 up here, this. It says, I'm going to try to say it, Garrotxa, Garrotxa, from Spain, made from goat's milk. I'm sure I didn't say that right, but sweet and mild, notes of grass and hay. Number 2 is this, Doddington, I can say that, from England, made from cow's milk. And it is cheddary and mellow. Number 3 is this. Okay, let's see, what is it? Sprints from Switzerland, made from cow's milk. Earthy and smoky. Try it on a cheese plate. Number 4, this big one down here is number 4. Three Sisters Serena from California, made from cow's milk. Fruity, tangy, and assertive. I've never heard the word assertive used for a cheese before. That's interesting. And number 5 here, Piave, Piave, maybe? Italy, made from cow's milk. Pleasantly sharp, milky sweet, and nutty. This one here, number 6, is Gouda from Holland, made from cow's milk. Toasty caramel flavors that are almost stout-like. Aged 4 years. Number 7 here, Grana Padano from Italy, made from cow's milk. Big flavor and a slight crunch. Aged almost 2 years. Charles Schwab ad. Oh, and these are all different rolling pins. This is a tapered maple French rolling pin. Doesn't have the handles at the end like the other 2 do. And this is a silicone rolling pin by Sil Pin. And this is a marble bakery rolling pin by Vic Firth. Lowe's ad for Lowe's flooring. And this dish is rabbit. Well, Easter would be coming. It says another white meat is springing forward into restaurant menus around the country. I wonder if that's still true. And down here it says, in the case of the rabbit, the common quip, tastes like chicken, is actually accurate. And that's interesting. I've never eaten a rabbit before. I'm not sure they make this type of Hellmann's anymore. Low cholesterol Hellmann's. And here they have some restaurant reviews. And again, I would be curious to see how many of these are still around. These are all Mexican restaurants. And here's an ad to visit Toronto. And look at that building on stilts. And I looked this up. It's I think it's the Sharp Center of Art and Design. Isn't that something else? Encouraging us to visit Toronto. What's this? The Butcher, John McFadden Jr. And his family has owned the Staubitz Market in the Cobble Hill neighborhood of Brooklyn for more than 40 years. He still works side by side with his father, who first taught him the fine art of butchery at the age 12. And here he shares some tricks of the trade. Ooh, the mix, Agua Verde. That's that. Isn't that beautiful? It has tomatillos, husked and rinsed, salt, sugar, garlic, a habanero chili, reposado tequila, 4 dashes of Magi seasoning and ice cubes, cilantro, and 4 radishes. Wow. I bet you that's something else in there. They have all different wines. They're all from 2004, so that would have been 4 years before this was made. I know they still make this. Green and Black's organic chocolate. What does it say down here? The method, twist and shout, and these have to do all with drinks, alcoholic drinks. The peel or zest of a citrus fruit is a garnish with a purpose. Not only does it give a bit of color to cocktails, but it also holds the oil that can add all the lovely floral aromatics of the fruit without any of the acid. That is true. I never thought of it that way. And here again, we have some restaurant reviews. These are all in Atlanta, Georgia. What is this? This is a cruise, celebrity cruise ad. And here's that restaurant review again. Here's an ad for Celebrex. That's still around, and this is cool. This is New York Delft. This clever take on the tradition of Dutch Delft is inspired by the streets of New York. And look at, they have graffiti on them and a cab, and what is that, a garbage truck? Some kind of it's either a garbage truck. Yeah, it is. I mean, it's definitely different. They didn't have the color down, but it says, sure, it would look great on a wall, but we'd mix this pattern with classic white china to add a little edge to the dinner table. And here are all different things that you could buy then. You can still buy a lot of them now, I'm sure. We have a glass carafe, hand-glazed bowls, egg cozies. Oh, aren't they cute? Patterned trays, Tunisian dishes, knit toys. Oh, look at, those are adorable. They're like a donut and cookies. French-style macaroons, repurposed napkins, some tools, an insulated jug, scented soap, silver tongs, recipe box, spring-form pan, horn-wrapped napkin rings, sweet treats from a patisserie in Venice, California. Oh, that sounds good. Gin patisserie, J-I-N, a tripod wine glass, and a centerpiece bowl. This is what to buy now. Here are some books. Beyond Nose to Tail, Soups On, Mouth Wide Open, and The Story of Tea. Those were some of the big food books at the time. Music to Shop by. Number 1, They Might Be Giants, I'm a Grocery Bag. Number 2, Hank Williams, Window Shopping. Number 3, The Clash, Lost in the Supermarket. Number 4, The Coasters, Searchin'. 5, Pet Shop Boys, Shopping. 6, Count Basie, Can't Buy Me Love. And 7, James Brown, Take Some, Leave Some. So that's all music to shop by. It's very clever. This is a tech little blurb down here. If we only knew what it's talking about, a database that they have for wines. If you text this certain number, it's probably not in existence anymore, what wine to pair with your dish. That's cool. There's are different things that they had a big focus on culinary travel. This magazine did. I don't know if they still do that. And this over here is a lemon berry souffle. Doesn't that look good? Fresh, fast, easy, fresh. And that looks delicious. Marinated baby vegetables. And you have 6 cups of assorted trimmed baby vegetables. And they suggest halved fingerling and purple potatoes, baby carrots, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, pearl onions, patty pan squash, and or strips of large vegetables like bell peppers. And then there's olive oil and vinegar, bay leaves, salt and pepper, fennel, oregano, and crushed red pepper. And this is the souffles from the front. potato, greens, and goat cheese quesadillas, a decadent but still healthy vegetarian meal. Sounds good. Halibut with roasted beets, beet greens, and dill orange gremolata. It says, the whole beet, greens and all, is used in this clever, elegant main dish. Gremolata, a mixture of chopped herbs, garlic, and citrus peel, is the classic topping for osso buco. I don't know if I'm saying that right. This garlic-free variation gives bright, fresh flavor to the halibut. Look at that. That is a Greek lamb burger with spinach and red onion salad. That's pasta with peas and cream. It also has parsley and mint. I've heard of pairing mint and peas before. That always sounded really good to me. Grilled chicken in romaine with caper dressing. It says, grill the lettuce. Trust us, you'll make this dish again and again. It must have grilled lettuce. I don't think there's a picture. Pear and raisin crumble. Land O'Lakes butter. The recipe isn't complete until you add friends. What do we have here? Family style. Dinner for you and your kids plus leftovers. The menu is fettuccine with sausage, sage, and crispy garlic, roasted broccoli with Asiago, and a red leaf salad with oranges. That looks good. And they go step by step how to make this meal. They have a game plan. So that sounds wonderful. It says roasting broccoli brings out its earthly sweetness, and sprinkling it with cheese will guarantee that the kids clean their plates. Red leaf salad with oranges. Orange slices add a juicy, sweet touch to this simple salad, which is made even easier by drizzling the lettuce with oil and vinegar rather than making a proper vinaigrette. This is an ad for California wine. Welcome to California, the land of wine and food. Look at those beautiful grapes. There's Paul Newman's. This is a marinade. I thought it was a salad dressing. It's not. And there's a recipe for wild mushroom pasta. These items are still around. Maybe not these exact varieties, but that is all still around. And here's a whole big article on cabbage and all these different types. So let's take a look at this. A versatile vegetable that can be crunchy, silky, pungent, or sweet depending on how you choose to cook it. Don't be fooled by that humble reputation. Cabbage is a wonder food that is packed with flavor and nutrients. Why try? Well, it's mild, zingy, western, eastern. Cabbage takes well to all kinds of flavors. It's available year-round, but peaks in the winter when cold weather coaxes out its sweetness. How to buy it and store it. A head of cabbage should feel heavy for its size. Go for small or medium-sized heads that are firm and compact with unblemished leaves. A whole head of cabbage will keep for a week or longer, stored unwashed in the fridge and sealed in plastic. Pull off the very thickest outer leaves and rinse whole heads just before slicing. Use cabbage as soon as possible for the best nutritional bang, especially a partial head. And there are some recipes using cabbage. That one sounds good. Chicken fajitas with crunchy lime, cabbage, and avocado. Lime is a good match for red cabbage, and its acid keeps the color bright. Napa cabbage is a delicious alternative. And this is a cabbage and white bean soup with sausage. And here are some of the different varieties of cabbage. Green, red, and that is Napa. Green and red cabbage both grow in round heads with smooth, thick leaves. Green pairs well with meaty flavors. When thinly sliced, red adds heft to salads. And it also provides a little contrast, doesn't it? Napa, an Asian variety, grows barrel-shaped or elongated. It's delicate, juicy, and perfect for salads, slaws. Savoy, this is the Savoy here. It says opposite. It has looser leaves that are green and crinkled. It almost looks like lettuce, doesn't it? It appears most often in fall and early winter. Use it in any recipe that calls for green cabbage. I did never know that. And here's an article about cooking with yeast, something that I have not ever perfected. I don't know that I ever will. I guess I could try, and this author laments that exact same sentiment. Here is an ad for a kitchen remodel, and it's very pretty, but and it's on a thick piece of paper. What I noticed about this, though, this is above this island, this like shelf. Wouldn't stuff get stuck under there, like crumbs and just whatnot? That's the first thing I thought of when I saw that. Maybe I'm looking at it wrong. I don't know. So here's the cinnamon roll with cream cheese glaze recipe. Maybe this is the recipe that this person finally found that helped them with their yeast cooking with problems. This is an ad for what? Sargento cheese. And they have a panzanella salad. Oh, that sounds good. Sourdough bread cubed, white beans or cannelli beans, plum tomatoes, baby salad greens or romaine, fresh basil or parsley, a balsamic vinaigrette or Italian salad dressing, and a shredded Parmesan. I bet you that's good. And this is an ad for Pam, high heat professional Pam, rapid roasted chicken and vegetables. I don't know if they still make that. Here's an article on getting kids to eat their vegetables, or maybe getting people in general just to eat their vegetables. And it talks about how people go to great lengths to disguise their vegetables in smoothies and other types of dishes to sneak past the kids. I don't think they make these anymore. These Special K Bliss bars. I haven't seen them anyway. And it's got an ad for Bonefish Grill. I don't know that that's still around. I think there might have been one around me. It says Thomas Jefferson promoted vegetables. I didn't know that. And Clarence Birdseye, a New Yorker who was credited with starting the frozen food industry, began his experiments while working for a fur company in Labrador. He was concerned that there were no fresh vegetables available for many months to feed his young son, so he learned how to freeze them. And that's something else. It's an ad for a casino in the Detroit area. That's where I live, and that is where this magazine is from, too. Bon Appetit Travel Planner. They really did a lot of things, didn't they? Other than make a magazine, they might still. And this is all about Guinness, in pursuit of the perfect pint, for St. Patrick's Day. And this lady, Heather John, wrote this. And this person traveled to Ireland to write the article, and the customs officer asked this person, "What is your business?" And she says, "I'm here to write a story on Guinness." His scowl turned to excitement as he launched into a story about his grandmother's physician prescribing her a bottle of day in the early 1900s for its iron content. And this man said, that's where Guinness is good for you comes from, the slogan. And that was the original 1920s slogan. Isn't that something else? People get emotional about Guinness. Everyone has a story about where their best pint was. That's why it's been in business for around 250 years. It's not about the liquid, it's an experience. And this is a quote by master brewer Fergal Murray. So it is an experience. More ads for their events. And here's a big article on potatoes. Look at them. When it comes to potatoes, the russet reigns supreme. It always cooks up light and fluffy. It's versatile enough to use in everything from gratins to soups, and it's available at the local market. In the recipes that follow, the standard the standard spud gets the star treatment. And look at this. This is a potato gratin and it's Sicilian style, and it has capers in it. It has garlic and onions and cheese and chicken broth, but it looks pretty good, huh? It says, look for firm potatoes with smooth, even skin. Avoid those with scars, cracks, or lots of sprouts. Don't buy potatoes with a green tinge. That discoloration comes from exposure to light, which increases the levels of potentially harmful chemicals in the potatoes. I never knew that. Oh, look at these. This is a mustard and coriander roasted potato. So that looks good. They have a twice baked potato with 2 cheeses, baked potato and carrot mash. It says baking the potatoes and carrots before mashing them gives them a rich, complex flavor. They have a potato soup with kale and chorizo. Homemade croutons add crunch to this smoky, spicy soup. These potatoes up here, I didn't read this. It says, so the potatoes in the picture, these roasted mustard potatoes, tossing the potatoes in a vinegar mustard mixture before roasting gives them a flavorful crust. This is an article about a fancy party that they had in this. It might be a home. I don't know. It's in. It's very nice. It's an architectural wonder, isn't it? And here are some, what are these? Goat cheese and grape crostini. And the grape sliced in half. Isn't that pretty? We're having a party. And this person says, I'm a big planner. I make lots of lists and write out a timeline. For this party, her timeline looks something like this. 1 day ahead of time, make the carrot cake and mix up the salad dressing. 8 hours ahead of time, bake the croutons for the salad. 2 hours ahead, bake the baguette slices for the crostini. Make the asparagus and prosciutto. 1 hour ahead, sort the morels. Assemble the goat cheese crostini. 30 minutes ahead, start making the mushroom sauce. 15 minutes ahead, put the pasta on to boil, plate the salads, put out the ice bucket, and light the candles. What is that? Is that the salad? Watercress, avocado, and red onion salad with Parmesan croutons is up there. What's this pasta? Penny with shrimp and morel mushrooms. See them? That's beautiful. And then the asparagus with crispy. It says see a photo on page 133. So let's skip ahead. 133. for that. While we're on the subject, 133. It's up there. Looks good. Okay, so here's the cake. Carrot cake with buttermilk glaze and cinnamon cream cheese frosting. Wow. The glaze is poured over the sheet cake while it's hot, which gives this dessert a rich, moist texture. Oh, I'll bet it does. And look at this. Look at this beautiful picture. An old-fashioned Southern Easter. Beautiful bouquet. And look at that wallpaper. I just love this picture. It's beautiful. So what's on the menu for 10? Well, we have appetizers. Farm eggs with watercress and parsley sauce. I'm assuming that's that. Open face butter and radish sandwiches over here. So then we have the main and the sides. Old-fashioned ham with brown sugar and mustard glaze. Asparagus, green onion, cucumber, and herb salad. That's up front here. Look at those feathers and eggs. Isn't that cool? Turnip greens cooked in rich pork stock. I think that's probably that. Whipped sweet potatoes with honey. I think that's way back there in the crease. See? Cream biscuits, I saw. I think, yeah. Dessert. Cornmeal cake with buttermilk ice cream and rhubarb compote. I don't know if I see that on here. I'm sure there's a picture as we go along. And drinks, Sauvignon Blanc. Is that dessert on here? I don't know. We will see it. Here's a plate of the different foods. It's just so pretty. And so for the farm fresh eggs with watercress and parsley sauce, it's not Easter dinner without the eggs. In this recipe, they're boiled just until the yolks are set, then sliced and topped with fresh herb sauce. And for those butter and radish sandwiches, a mandolin or a V slicer makes quick work of slicing the radishes. And then they have the ham recipe. Asparagus, green onion, cucumber, and herb salad. This fresh salad could be served family style with the rest of the meal or plated. First course. And that's different, whipping the sweet potatoes with honey. It says, forget the marshmallows, which that's a common dish that we've probably all eaten or seen. All these sweet potatoes need is a little butter and a drizzle of honey. And that does sound good. And here's the dessert. It is coming, so we will see it. But let's read about it for a minute. So the cornmeal cake with the buttermilk ice cream and rhubarb compote. A little cornmeal gives the cake a crunchy texture. Oh, I bet you it does. The sweet, tangy ice cream and the tart compote, I think I'm saying it right, help dress up the dessert for this holiday dinner. And then it tells you how you can make homemade baking powder. It says, why would you make your own baking powder? Because it tastes better, says Chef Peacock. And by making your own, you're avoiding the chemicals and preservatives that go into commercial baking powder. And it comes from, take cream of tartar and baking soda. You put it through a strainer a few times. And that's all that there is to that. I wonder. So there's that beautiful cake, beautiful cup of coffee and a spoon, some sugar cubes, and there it is. Looks so pretty. Now let me see, what do we have here? A dish to call your own. And that is a black bean chili with crispy pork and poblano salsa. Wow, that is nice. It says, set out all the components of this fun and delicious dish and allow guests to add their own toppings. Because the chili is meatless, the vegetarians in the crowd can also enjoy this meal by simply omitting the crispy cubed pork topping. That is really cool. Oh, look at that salmon. Salmon with lemon pepper sauce and watercress herb salad. Simple to prepare but impressive when served. This is spring elegance at its best. The salad is shown with purple watercress, a beautiful, rare variety you might find at a farmer's market. Green watercress works great too, but look at the contrast. It does look very fancy, and I bet you it's pretty simple. Roast beef with wild mushroom sauce and caramelized shallot mashed potatoes. It says, ask your butcher for the Chateaubriand, the thicker end of the fillet, and have him trim it for you. Rub the salt mixture on the beef at least 1 day and up to 3 days ahead. Steamed or roasted asparagus spears are the perfect accompaniment for this elegant meal. And they have the potatoes in a beef reduction recipe. And now here's something relevant to the day. Corned beef. Brine your own for the best corned beef you'll ever have. If you can boil water, measure ingredients, and chop vegetables, you can make it yourself. And then they're going to give us 3 delicious things to do with it. And look at all that Guinness beer. Homemade Irish corned beef and vegetables. Spicy horseradish cream and malty Guinness mustard amp up the flavor of this home corned beef. You might need to special order the brisket from your butcher, and you'll have to start brining the meat 8 days before you cook it and serve it. But so you could maybe find one soon, and or do this next year, and have it at the end of the month. And the brine has water, beer, lager beer, kosher salt, brown sugar, Instacure #1, and it says that's optional, but it gives the meat its traditional pink color. And it says save the leftover corned beef to make sandwiches and hash. I've never heard of Instacure #1. It's a mixture of sodium nitrate and salt, and it's used in cured and smoked sausages to prevent botulism. But in this brine, its only purpose is to prevent the meat from turning gray. So you can certainly leave it out. Then you need pickling, spices, a deep roasting pan, a heavy platter, a large wide pot, and cheesecloth and kitchen string. And then this Guinness mustard, it's a couple coarse-grained Dijon mustard, the regular Dijon mustard, stout Guinness, a minced shallot, and brown sugar. And there's those sandwiches from the cover. Grilled corned beef and fontina sandwiches. It says serve with dill pickles and plenty of coleslaw. And there's a hash, corned beef hash with poached eggs. Comfort food at its best. Isn't that wonderful? Use 1 or 2 eggs per person. I thought this was interesting. Where's the corn? The corn in the term corned beef actually refers to the grains in Old English called corns, and of course salt that were used to extend the beef's shelf life without refrigeration. These days we still corn beef for the great taste and its appealing texture we get from such long brining. During the brining, the beef is flavored throughout by the malty beer and aromatic pickling spices. At the same time, the salt starts to break down the tough muscles of the brisket. That tenderization is completed in the 2+ hours of boiling, resulting in fork tender piece of incredibly flavorful meat. I've only made corned beef in a crock pot. What is this? Warm and sticky. Layer cakes are nice and cupcakes are good, but sometimes what you really want is a dessert that's just a little bit messy. And this looks good. This is a caramel walnut upside down banana cake. Isn't that good? Is this I think that this is the honey date and pecan tart. Rhubarb and raspberry jam roly-poly with vanilla custard sauce. It says right up here. What was I doing? Yes, this is the honey date and pecan tart. And these are brandied apricot beignets with chocolate sauce. It's like a little French donut, I think. You know, what about these, though? The roly-poly. A roly-poly is a traditional British dessert similar to an American jelly roll. In this version, the scone-like pastry is spread with tangy sweet raspberry and rhubarb jam, then baked. I hope they show a picture of that. I'm sure they do. Maybe not. Oh, see photo, page 133. Let's flip. It's like that asparagus that we wanted to see a picture of. Oh, there they are up top in the middle. Yes. Looks delicious. Vanilla custard sauce, we saw that on the beginning, and that's great with the roly-poly. There's the apricot beignet recipe. And this, look at that whole page. That is Dolce de Leche and chocolate chunk bread pudding. Egg bread, bittersweet chocolate, and an intense caramel sauce combine to make this the ultimate comfort dessert. And it sure seems like that, doesn't it? Be sure to start this recipe ahead of time. It takes about a half an hour for the custard to soak into the bread. So that ought to tell you how delicious it is. If you're soaking bread in custard, yeah, that sounds good. Epicurious, get closer to your food. I don't know. It says it has 25,000 tested recipes. And here we have prep school. Try this. Peel eggs. After draining hard-boiled eggs for the farm eggs with watercress and parsley sauce, or for anything else you're making, return them to the saucepan, put the lid on, and shake the pan to crack the shells gently. I've never heard of doing this. Dunk the eggs in ice water for 2 minutes so they shrink away from the shell. Then peel away. And down here they have the right way to skin fish. Set the fillets skin side down on a work surface, and with a sharp, thin-bladed knife angled towards the skin, begin to slice the skin away. And then, once you've freed a few inches of the skin from the flesh, flip the fish fillet over so it's skin side up. This. Cut a 1/2-inch slit in the skin, and this will serve as the finger hold. Flip the fish over, skin side down. Hold the index finger of the hand that's not holding the knife through the finger hold. Grasp the skin firmly, and with the blade angled towards the skin, push the knife away from you as you pull the skin toward you, sawing back and forth until the skin's removed. Oh, anatomy lesson, the saucepan. This is what you want. The handle attached securely, heat-proof, easy to grasp. That seems simple enough. Lid, snug fitting. That seems simple enough too, with a handle that's secure and easy to grasp. The interior, stainless, anodized aluminum or enamel, so acidic ingredients won't react. A shiny or light-colored interior makes it easier to see color change than a dark one. That rate makes sense, doesn't it? The shape, sloped sides give you more room to stir, and because they expose more surface area, they help liquids boil down faster. The bottom and sides should be heavy for even heat distribution and no warping or dinging. And a solid flat bottom will make the best contact with the heat source. And that's especially important for electric stoves. The core should be made up of layers of copper and or aluminum. And you can't always see this, as they can be sandwiched between the inside and outside of the pan. And then they have on how to clean morel mushrooms down here. If they're fresh, swish the morels through cool water to loosen the dirt. Change the water, let the morels soak undisturbed for 15 minutes. Lift the morels very gently out of the water, taking care not to stir up grit. Pat them dry and then continue. If they're dried, you have to swish them through cool water again to loosen the dirt. Put them in a bowl, pour hot water over, and let them soak undisturbed for 30 minutes. Lift them up carefully, pat dry, strain the soaking liquid through several layers of cheesecloth, and save for another use. My mother used to live in northern Michigan for a long time in her retirement. She's back down here with me now, but I don't know what time of year it was, but they would go, her and her sister would go to the forest and harvest morel mushrooms, and the fancier restaurants in the towns near them that served tourists mostly would buy them off of them. They had a little business going for a little while, but they don't do that anymore. Oh, can't quit smoking. It's not you, it's your brain. An ad for Nicoderm. And Philadelphia cheesecake. Cream cheese cheesecake, that looks good. And here's making that beautiful custard sauce for the raspberry jam roly-polies. And here are all of the different items that we saw. Menu ideas based on recipes in this issue. Here's a bunch of ads. Aren't those pretty? Artesian petit fours for Easter. Divine Delights. I wonder if they're still in business. They're really cute. Those are the pictures we kept referring to. And here's a little article on Michael Jordan. Focusing, because this is a food magazine, on the fact that he at least one time was a restaurateur. And I'm not sure I knew that. But what of interest here that I saw, it says, did your North Carolina upbringing influence your interest in restaurants? And he replies, I come from a Southern family where food is really prominent. When I was living in Chicago while playing for the Bulls, I found people didn't cook, and in the South, everybody cooks. So I'm very accustomed to down-home cooking and preparing whatever your household enjoys. And I'm quite certain maybe the people that Mr. Jordan wasn't around in Chicago didn't cook, but I know people in Chicago that cook. So I wonder if he still does that. Here's an ad for Dove chocolate and, ooh, a Mercedes. A Mercedes S-Class. I hope that you enjoyed our little look through today. Let me get our little carnation back for St. Patrick's Day. And I hope that you have a wonderful day today, and I really appreciate you watching. Thank you. Bye.